Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. What if the answers we've been searching for were there all along, hidden in the small moments we witnessed ourselves? Whenever we talk about Jimin and Jungkook, we return to the same thing. A chemistry that feels natural. Glances that don't need explanation. A closeness that doesn't look staged. But between hope and reality, there's one important question. Can we believe without turning that belief into a burden for them? In this video, we'll talk about everything in a more mature way, without forcing conclusions or closing off possibilities. Maybe what matters most isn't a status, but how we choose to support them. For years, many have believed in the connection that appears visible, the chemistry that doesn't seem manufactured, the way they understand each other without words. Something in their interactions feels beyond script, beyond camera, beyond stage. Difficult to explain logically, yet equally difficult to ignore. Of course, no one has definitive proof. We understand the thin line between perception and fact. Yet small details often speak louder than grand theories. A gaze that lingers, an unconscious smile, body language that aligns naturally. For some, that means more than tarot cards, viral predictions, or long analyses trying to compress feelings into rigid conclusions. If one day they choose to confirm anything about their personal relationship, whatever form it takes, the simplest hope is that it happens freely. Without pressure. Without fear. From a place of peace. Because above all speculation, they are two human beings with hearts and vulnerabilities. And that deserves respect. What we believe should never become a burden. A fan's conviction is not an artist's responsibility. Predictions, positive or negative, don't erase admiration or the value of the bond they've shown over the years. Emotional balance matters. It's natural to feel excited. It's natural to think, what if this is true? It's natural to smile at beautiful possibilities. But predictions shouldn't control our emotional state. We can't keep soaring with every positive narrative, then crashing with every negative one. Many things cannot be fully verified. If our emotions depend entirely on rumors and interpretations, exhaustion is inevitable. Respecting different beliefs is also important. Some believe in tarot. Others don't. Both are valid. We don't need to stand on the same side. We simply need to stay grounded, while allowing our hearts to dream a little. Because dreaming is beautiful. Imagining is beautiful. Hope is beautiful. As long as we don't lose perspective. If an old account suddenly mentions them again, it naturally raises questions. Coincidence? Intuition? Strategy? Or simply another story passing through the timeline? Interesting to read and discuss, but not a final statement about reality. Perception about them has been shaped by years of visible consistency, by a dynamic that feels stable, not momentary. If tomorrow an opposite narrative appears, it doesn't automatically erase what has been understood so far. When sincerity feels consistent, constant validation isn't necessary. Yes, theories spark curiosity. Yes, possibilities are exciting. But reality is always more complex than any viral prediction. Human lives cannot be reduced to one card, one thread, or one analysis video. In the meantime, what we can do is support and respect. Hope that whatever the truth may be, they are okay. At peace. Living according to their own choices. There's also the assumption that if one day they confirm being together, hate would follow. And honestly, that's realistic. Even without confirmation, criticism already exists. Interacting too often is criticized. Being seen together less is criticized. Looking close becomes an issue. Looking distant is questioned. Every movement and silence can be interpreted in countless ways. The internet is always exploding over something. If they confirm being together, there will be support and rejection. If they confirm relationships with others, the pattern remains. If they never confirm anything, theories will still exist. Hate doesn't come from one place. Sometimes from rivalry. Sometimes from unprepared expectations. Often, the issue isn't the decision, but the imagination that went too far. Whatever direction their lives take, public scrutiny will follow. Not because they are wrong, but because that's how fame works. So this isn't about what we want. It's about what they want, what makes them feel safe. If one day they speak about their personal lives, a mature response from us should be support, not demands disguised as expectations. We can't control the world's reaction, but we can control ours. We can choose not to spread toxic narratives, not to amplify mockery, not to turn their lives into a battlefield of projections. Amid all the discussions, they continue moving forward individually. Recently, Jungkook shared his cardio workout results on Instagram stories, 6.12 kilometers in 1 hour and 52 seconds, burning around 701 calories, with an average pace of 10 minutes per kilometer. A cumulative elevation gain of 545 meters and an average heart rate of 128 BPM reflected a workout that was intense yet controlled. Focused. Consistent. Meanwhile, February 2026 marked an important moment for Jimin through his first post-military interview with Vogue Korea. He spoke not only about the photo shoot, but about his inner journey, comparing who he is now with the period around his debut solo album, Face, a phase filled with expectation and fear. Now, he acknowledges growth, becoming more self-critical, more courageous in questioning his direction, and more honest about what he wants as an artist and individual. During the creative process for BTS's upcoming group album, one question stays with him: what is the best way to become more BTS? That reflection feels deeper than ever. He described Muse as an exploratory phase that broadened his horizons. If Face was his rawest emotional space, then Muse drew inspiration from beyond himself. The success of Like Crazy, which brought him to the top of the Billboard Hot 100, was historic. But what mattered most to him was realizing how many people walked alongside him. His participation with Jungkook in the second season of Are You Sure? Symbolized returning fully to group activities. He now prioritizes physical and mental health, strategic training, and mature discipline. All of this shows one thing: beyond theories and debates, they remain two individuals who continue to grow, not only as global icons, but as human beings learning and evolving. And perhaps above all the noise, that's what we need to remember: conscious, mature respect. Because in the end, theories will come and go. Timelines will keep moving. But respect for their choices and happiness, that is within our control. At the end of the day, theories may change. The timeline may get loud. But respect, that's our choice. Whatever path Jimin and Jungkook choose, together or not, our role is simple: support without pressure, love without demands. If you believe true support doesn't require confirmation, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Jikook Moments. See you in the next video.